What's up, everyone? All right, my hair's a little crazy right now, but today was a bit of a crazy day. Today we had Trump speaking at 7:30. I made 258 on the day. Um, Took 4 out of 4 positions, got green all four. Thankfully, now I traded QQQ, and I'm gonna break this down for where I traded. So we had Trump speaking at 10:30, and then 7:30 Pacific Standard Time. So 7:30, I waited. I didn't take any other trade until the beginning because we did gap down from the previous close. We closed up like at 587. Just see the sell off at 5, all the way to 581, almost 580 flat. I was like, okay, let's wait after the first 5 minutes. So we had a high right here at 582. Then we wicked down 581.04. Okay. Then we broke that low. Then the next 5 minute candle after that, we instantly recovered. Next doji candle up, 5 minute MACD's green. That's when I took a position. I was like, let me shoot for this 200 moving average because this 200 moving average is very, very strong. At some point, we're gonna eventually reach this, and this 200 moving average will come down lower and lower. So I was like, okay, if we've seen previous days, we've had this where we've gapped down, 200 moving average is the area where will be the strongest resistance. So I thought about taking 200 EMA target at 585, but I built up pretty quickly, a little too quick. My positions were not even 5 minutes long. I took the profit and ran. I was like, I don't know about today. This is a 1 minute. I don't know. I could have held a little bit longer, but I didn't. I sold as soon as it hit 584, and that's when I got my profit. I got in a little bit too high though. These contracts were about $89, so I could have, got a little bit more profit, but I just took it off the table. I was like, no, let's wait. So I was waiting for actually to see if this would make a move up to the 200 moving average. On SPY, it did do that. So QQQ did not. Look at the SPY, it did hit that target and rejected immediately off that. But QQQ moved a little bit differently today. Same with IWM. So we took the position, and I was like, okay, Trump speaking, 7:30. Let's wait. What if this is an area where we bounce off the view app and immediately explode up? Bad comments are said, and then we crash down. That wasn't the case today. As soon as he started speaking, I took my first position at 7:30. This one I took a 583 put. 583 put, targeting the break at the 200 at the VWAP. At the time was 582.96. Then we get this drop. A lot of comments were made. I made about $66 on the 583. So took those off the table. Then as it bounced back up for retest, I was like, hey, you know what? Let me just take 582s. We were already breaking through. This is targeting the low. We have the MACD. Now, I'm also looking at the futures for crude oil because this has been consistent with how the market will be moving. So yesterday we had, if we recall yesterday actually we did have some sort of flush that did spike up the price of oil. We had this flush right here, I believe close to 7 all the way up to 8. So yesterday I noticed, okay, from 7 to 8 we're on this trend. This is when oil was just starting its trend on the way back up again. So I was like, okay, this looks like it's going to be going up for a while. So from 7 to 8, this was this move. From 7, it was the 88, then I made it to move all the way up to 90, and it just kept creeping up above these EMAs over the last 24 hours. So I'm doing this time frame or these lines because futures are 24/7, so it's not gonna have a break. So, anyways, I noticed that I'm like, huh, that is pretty consistent. So I'm focusing on this at the same time while I'm watching while I'm watching SPY and IWM and QQ. It's been pretty consistent so far. If I'm being honest, I've been following that and it's been working so far. And or since yesterday, I guess. I should have been doing this since the beginning of the war, but I guess not. So then that's when I took the 282 calls because I was like, hey, this is on a good pullback. So it pulled back up, got in for 282 puts, not calls. And then at the same time at 7, let's see, this is 8, 7, let's see. This is the 5 minute chart. I noticed on oil, I'm like, hey, we're going to be hitting this 200 moving average. And I told my brother, I was like, dude, I think this is going to be where we start to pull back up on QQQ to make a move further down. And then oil will find its support and increase in price. And then this MACD did confirm that move. So I took those 582 puts. These profited the most, and these were all 6 contracts. That's when I added. So I added one 582 put within this first candle right here. Then as soon as Trump was talking, I was just trying to figure out like what was going on. The 1 minute was just going crazy. 1 minute was going crazy. This is where I sold off my contracts. In the middle of all this, I was like, hey, this is gonna keep rejecting down. I'm gonna get in. I'm gonna get in 582, break 582, and then as soon as it hit 581 at this candle, that's when I sold all my contracts. It did hit the low of the day, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 after 7 minutes, I could have been a little bit more, but I didn't miss out that much profit. Looking at these contracts, they were 245. I think I saw them at 270. So I didn't miss out too much. I'm gonna be honest. That's okay. Days where I miss out on a lot, it's where I'm like, okay, where did I not hold? But I took my money off the table. Um, Ideally wanted to go for this, but I just was not comfortable. I was like, no, no, no. Trump is talking. This is a lot of stuff that's being said back and forth. So we'll go here. We'll go to the comments. I was listening at the same time live while these comments were coming out. So he's saying we're obliterating Iran. We don't know if the deal will work out. He thought the price of oil or will go up and stock market will go down. And just all these comments, it sounds good, you know, short term, but it's like I don't know. I it didn't feel comfortable. We've seen how crazy this thing can pop. I mean, look at this. Even if I did hold, even if I did hold, look how much further it went down. It wicked at 579, 65 over the low. I don't think I would have been able to sell that price. Yeah, I would have been a bit more, but I think here it's just way too quick of a sell off. And you're not going to get out in time. You have to really be ready and hope you get filled. And that's the only thing with the options. Like, I feel like with options, the filling can be a little bit not delayed, but you have to be quick. It has to be quick because you can send your order and then it won't get filled, even if it's maybe a few cents off. It's a little bit harder, I guess, with options sometimes, especially when swings are quick. Maybe with I don't know. I don't know which is harder. I haven't traded small caps since Monday, by the way. So on my starting day, I was like, okay, I'm up 232. Then I have IWM. So on the same momentum, I'm like, hey, IWM has not pulled back to its low of day. Yet IWM was pumping up way higher than QQQ and SPY. And as Trump was talking, I was like, hey, this is going to break view app. This has not hit the low of day yet. QQQ and SPY were already hitting towards the lows. I took 250 puts and I got in the middle of this candle. Then I got in as soon as this candle started because it hit the low. I'm like, that's it. I'm good. And then I got out for 26 dollars. These were up like at 30 something dollars, but it quickly swung back up. Let's look at the 1 minute for this. Yeah, as soon as this hit this bottom, this candle formed and it went back up, and I was like, oh, let me get out. So yeah, and I was okay with that. So that was today. Today was, I guess, less chaotic, but at the same time, it's like today's just not the day to hold for just for maximizing the contracts. What I want to do tomorrow is be able to maximize the contract, because these contracts at the 583, I sold them too soon. These went up 2x because they were further deeper in the money. I think these were already like almost $360, I believe. I want to be able to maximize this. I want to go in less, but maximize those positions. But it's been hard lately. You haven't been able to do that as much because you want to just take your profit and go. Now, oil, I mean, it's bounced back the 20 EMA and the 50, and it's going to keep going higher right now. This is what it's suggesting on the 1 hour chart. 4 hour chart, it's still pretty bullish. I mean, look at this. We're still going up. So I guess in war, you got to look at the oil prices and then do the opposite of whatever you see on QQQ or SPY. Let's see any memes. Let's see. Nope, I don't think I had any memes. This meme. Me after getting stopped out by one tick and watching the trade play out exactly how I thought. Yeah, that's how it's been the last few weeks. Um, this is something I noticed too. This was earlier. I was like, okay, so Iran, I guess, announces American bases have been eliminated. I don't know if this is AI. I think our death toll is all higher. And Trump says that we're crushing it. I don't think so, man. I really don't think so. But yeah, good luck. Hopefully you guys have been doing great. Since I've honestly recovered really well. I'm only down, I think, 130 on the week now, so I've recovered pretty well. I've recovered well. We're gonna look for tomorrow. We're gonna close green. So, I mean, Tuesday I really slacked off. I slacked off Tuesday. This could have been a groundbreaking week, and it's always one of those where it's like this could have been a groundbreaking week, but it's because of that one day. That one day didn't come my loss, went in too heavy. I was impatient and I jumped in trades early. This one, I liked how I played because I waited. I waited for something to happen because there is something going to happen. We knew Trump was going to be talking. I was watching these targets play out. This didn't play out exactly how I wanted to, but we had to adapt. It's always going to be quick adapting. 200 moving average, that's going to be the strongest. 200 moving average is our best friend. That is our best friend. Um, right now it hasn't failed yet. I was also looking at the 15-minute chart too. This 15-minute chart was looking very bearish. Like, look at this. I think this was more of a head and shoulders formation. We have the head right here and the two shoulders, and I was like, hey, this is I don't think this is gonna go good for calls. So it failed pretty quickly and it kept going lower, and I was like, okay, good. I'm always switching between the time frames, between 5 minute, looking at the 1 hour. What is the 1 hour communicating? I need to make sure that all these are communicating the same exact information. Like, hey, this is pointing towards bearish trend. Right now, we're making some sort of move up, some sort of recovery. But since we've hit our close lows, I mean, we haven't really closed at the low yet. The low of today was about 580.40, 580.45. So we're hovering at those levels, and maybe we can go further. But I was not going to take any chances. Not today. After a lot, you don't want to take any chances. I was like, shit. This is the price action to slow down. You can see I'm happy because I captured this fast rated change. I don't want to be stuck in an area right here for a long time just waiting, because that's when you can get anxious. I feel like I was getting anxious waiting, just waiting, and then you see something go up and you're like, what the hell? What happened? And then you're trying to figure out what's going on. Right now, let's see. What's going on? Why is this going up? Trump taking control of Iran. Oil is option. So he's just saying all this bluff, maybe. Who knows? There's so much bluff in the market right now. But hey, I don't know how it's going to play out, but you guys, I hope you guys are safe. I hope you guys have learned from my mistakes. Tomorrow we could gap up. Tomorrow could be a good day on Friday. We initially, the goal, or I was like, hey, the low we have is 578 for this year on QQQ. I'm focusing on QQQ because I've been liking it a lot more. And we may hit that tomorrow. We could bounce up really hard. We could have a 5-minute, 5% day. Who knows, guys? Who knows? We will see tomorrow. But yeah, good luck for the rest of the week. And we'll close out strong. And then we're closing out March next Monday and Tuesday. Let me see. March, yeah, 30th and 31st. So, hey. And then I think next Friday is a Good Friday. I don't think the markets are open. Could be wrong. But you guys take care. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.